Well, good morning. Welcome back to Ontario and welcome back to GP Outdoors. Spring's going to be here in about 3 weeks, and I've had a number of people over the last several weeks asking me what's coming up, what's on the horizon on GP Outdoors. So I thought maybe I'd take a few minutes, do a quick channel update, talk to you about what I've got planned already, as well as, the regular chores that we do around here on the property, and maybe also give you an update on the generator and a few other things. So if you've got a few minutes, stick around. Let me tell you what's going to be going on. Cheers. Okay, so let's talk about a few things before we get to what's coming up in the near future. A couple of things I wanted to point out. Number one, I think it's about time for a little vacation. So probably in the next month or so, you might notice that I'm going to go about a week or two without a video. It's not because I've gone anywhere. Well, I've gone somewhere. I just won't be bringing the camera with me. Second thing is, for those of you that have found out, I have a Facebook page. I created the Facebook page because people told me I should create it, but I have to be honest, I'm not a big fan of Facebook. I actually don't use that page. I just know that with social media, you're supposed to create a domain and names for things. So for those few people that have found that page and posted comments, and it's taken me forever to get back to you, it's because I don't use the page. So in all fairness, if we can stick to YouTube and talk together, that would be great, because I tell you, Facebook confuses me. It just does. Another thing, what's good news for this year is our friends Dave and Kevin at Farmer Equipment Sales. We've continued the relationship, and for those that are new to the channel, Dave and Kevin run a family business out in Shelburne, Ontario here, and they deal in farm equipment and tractor equipment. And what's really nice is I bought a couple of really good quality pieces of equipment from them, and for the last 6-7 months, they've been kind enough to loan us equipment for me to try out on the channel. And in return, I let them use the videos on their website or reference the videos. It's worked out really great to date, and I'm pleased to say that it's going to continue for the foreseeable future. So that's great news. One other thing that's kind of related to that, you've probably noticed I've done a few review videos on different products, those kind of things. And I'm getting more and more requests from different companies, I think now because the channel's starting to get a little bigger, to try out products. Just so you know, as I mentioned to you before, to this day, I still do not take compensation or money for doing these product reviews. I know some of you think I'm nuts because, yes, I have a family and 3 daughters, and the money would be helpful. But I just think that we've got a good thing here on this channel. It's honest. I want to keep it honest and transparent. And although it's just my opinion, and I may not be right, but I think taking compensation would put me in a conflict of interest. Still to this day, I say what I think or I feel, and I'm not in a position where I have to say things because somebody's paying me. So when you see the product reviews and those things, you'll notice that sometimes I won't say negative things about a product, but what I will do is I will make sure I show you everything in the video so that you can see the product or the quality or how it's working and make your own determinations as to whether or not, it's a piece of equipment you think that's well built. Another thing I wanted to bring closure to, the issues of having chains on the tractor. I am getting closer to considering a pair, just for all you folks that keep telling me just to get some and get it over with. But the thing that I keep thinking about is my neighbor Guy's been up here for 15 years with an L series, and he's never used chains. He loses traction from time to time the same as I do, but he somehow found a way to use the tractor effectively enough that he doesn't need them. So I think that's why I'm a little more hesitant, but I am thinking about it for next season, so stay tuned. The other question I still get to this day from folks is, if I had a choice to do over again, would I get the B2650 that has the cab on it instead of the 2601? And I'll tell you, there's days, as you've seen, where I really wish I had the cab, but I still think overall, if I had the decision to do over again, based on the type of property I have and the work that I do through a 12-month period, not just through the cold of the winter, I still would not buy a cab. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't consider one. I just wanted to answer the question because it comes up regularly. Hey, one last thing to talk about before we talk about what's coming in the next few months. Comments on the channel. I value the online relationships that we've built so far and all the different people I get to interact with every week. But I have to be honest, the channel's growing and the number of comments are growing as well. I've tried my best as much as I can to date to answer every comment that's ever posted on the channel. However, it's getting a little difficult. So I just wanted you to know that as we go forward, if you post a comment, I really appreciate it. I promise I'll read the comment. I'm just not so sure I can promise I can respond to all of them anymore, but I'll try my best, as I always do. Okay, so that being said, Got a few things on the burner for the next few months, in addition to getting back into the forest and firing up the chainsaw and doing things around the property. So stick around, let me tell you what's coming up. Our good friends, Dave and Kevin Farmer at Farmer Equipment Sales, have also given me a couple of more things to try out come spring. I've got a set of clamp-on pallet forks for the bucket, so I'm dying to get the fell back on the tractor. And they've also got a land plane unit, it's called. It's for doing the driveway, so I'm looking forward to trying that out. A little different than a box blade, but apparently does a really good job. They also may be bringing in skidding winches, as well as they may want me to try out a piece of equipment called a ditch bank mower. So I'm looking forward to that. And the big project for the year, the forest. So one of the things I promised my wife when she said it was okay to get a tractor about 1.5 years ago was I promised her I'd make trails through the forest. Never done it before. Thought I should take a little bit of time, which I did over the last year, to try to learn how to use the tractor a little better. But this year, big project. I promised her a trail. We're gonna have to cut a trail through that forest there. So I've got the tractor, I've got my chainsaw, I've got a few implements. Not sure if I'm gonna be able to do it with just that tractor, but I'm certainly gonna try. I've watched a few other channels, so I've kind of got an idea of the things that you need to do, but I'll probably be reaching out to you folks for some ideas before I start. But definitely between now and the end of the summer, we've got to get her at least one walking trail, maybe 4 or 5 feet wide. Just something that meanders through the forest so her and my daughters can go for walks. If it doesn't work out with the tractor, I've got a friend that rents excavation equipment, so we may have to call on him, but I'm definitely going to give it a shot. Got the equipment, and I've got a willing neighbor down the road that loves doing projects. But I was out at my Kubota dealership just recently, B.E. Larkin Equipment out of Stouffville, Ontario. Really nice folks there. That's where I picked up my B2601 as well as some of my attachments. And while I was there, I caught up with a couple of the owners out in the showroom, and they'd mentioned that some of the staff watched the channel, which was pretty nice. They also asked me if I'd be interested in maybe taking a piece of equipment out to test it out. And I said, absolutely. So very soon we'll have an RTV X1100 side-by-side diesel. They said I could take it for a week and go have some fun in the forest. So I've also had the opportunity to do a few product reviews. It seems, I guess, as your channel gets a little bigger, people start to reach out to you and ask you to test stuff out on your channel. So as you know, we've done the A24 Good Nature mousetrap. Did a review on that about a month ago, but I've actually been in touch with the automatic trap folks, and they've asked me to keep it a few more months longer, do a longer test period on it. So I'll be getting back to you on the results of that in the next little while. Had it out and running for about three and a bit months now, and I'm going to run it out another month or two before I do a wrap-up on it. Also, I picked up a game cam off of Amazon about 3 months ago, and I've been testing it through the winter, through all kinds of weather, right down to like -27, -28 outside, as well as on inside. And so I'm going to keep testing that for another little while, and then I'll get you the results of that as well. Kind of interesting. So let's take a few minutes just to maybe wrap up on this generator, maybe bring a little closure. First and foremost, I just wanted to say that I am sincerely grateful to the literally hundreds of people who are clearly mechanics or mechanically minded, and certainly far more than I am, that saw the video on the issue I'm having with this generator and took the time to offer out some good, simple, practical solutions. And I mean, you know, I didn't do a very good job of explaining it because, again, I'm not very mechanically proficient, but most people immediately knew what I was talking about, took the time to explain how that process in the engine works, even so far as to explain how that can lead to the issues I'm having, wrote out some very clear, practical, simple, step-by-step directions how I can fix it. And I even had folks that took the time to try to look up the manual online to look at the specs to see what they could come up with. A few folks talked about environmental regulations and why that vent pipe goes back in the air box, and so many other things. Issues with the air filter and the way the pleats are, whether they should be up or down. Too many names to mention, but honestly, for those folks that took the time to do it, I am sincerely grateful, and I thank you so much for that. At the end of the day, I have 3 heaters on this unit, just to answer some of the questions. It is not a primary power for me, it's a backup power source. There is now apparently a revised kit that's a 4th heater unit, which apparently will wrap around that vent pipe from the crankcase. And so I've agreed to pay for that, and the techs are going to be coming in the next few weeks to come and install it for me. Not sure how that resolves the issue of all the condensation in the air box, but I have heard from 2 people, one of which lives in this geographic area, that had a similar problem to me. They said they put the vent pipe wrap on there, that heater, and it solved it. So fingers are crossed, hoping it's going to take care of everything. So that's where we're at with the generator. So in a couple of weeks, we'll see if that heater does the trick. But I just wanted to put out a special thanks to all of those people who took the time to try to help out. I really appreciate it. Okay, well, hopefully some of those things that are coming up now and in the summer are going to be of interest to everyone. Really appreciate the support on the channel, especially to my longtime subscribers. On that note, before I finish up, I wanted to mention the subscriber count is really growing in leaps and bounds. Very humbling, and I'm very happy to see that so many people enjoy the videos. It looks like if we keep going the way we are, we're going to be reaching a 10,000 subscriber milestone soon. And with that, I wanted to let you know that I want to celebrate. My YouTube analytics tell me that 70% of the people that watch the videos actually haven't clicked the subscribe button yet. And I think when you hear about what we're going to celebrate at 10,000, you're going to want to subscribe. So stay tuned, that's coming up soon. Thanks for sticking around, I hope you enjoy it, and if you like the channel, as I said, please click subscribe, hit the like button, and I'll see you again on the next one. Have a wonderful week with your families. Cheers.